Hey everyone, welcome to the live stream. Thanks for hanging out. We're gonna get a little painting done today. I appreciate you guys stopping in. My name is David Lozeau. Just gonna be painting in the studio tonight, so I figured I'd open the doors and give you guys a look inside. So any questions you have throughout the night, feel free to shoot them over. Probably about an hour or so, but we'll be painting and answering questions and hanging out with the shipping department too. So they'll be doing absolutely nothing while we paint. So again, thanks for hanging out, and we're gonna get started here. So I posted a picture of this sketch this morning of this one. So excited to get going. Like I did the gouache, which is all the color here. I did all that earlier this afternoon. And now's the fun part, which is the enamel, and that's where all the detail goes in. So this is the part to tune in for.
Can you do a check to see if everyone can hear you?
Just want to do a check to make sure everybody can hear me out there. So let me know if you can't, so you can adjust, but just like to double check and make sure I'm not just here talking to myself. So let me know if you get the sound, and then we'll get rolling.
Alright, Ben says we're good.
All right. Get the okay from
Headphones are broken then.
get the okay from Ben. We had some technical difficulties, as always, though. So now we're gonna get rolling.
Ben's here.
Thanks for hanging out again, Ben. Good to see you. Skipped the last one, but it's okay. Can't be at everyone.
No. Brandy's here.
Brandy, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate all you guys hanging out here.
Ah, cheers from Costa Rica.
Costa Rica in the house also.
So far the farthest.
Yeah. The farthest one so far. We'll see as they chime in where they start coming from.
Greetings from the 603.
Oh boy.
Savage.
603 in the house. Old home stomping grounds.
Anderson Harley says audio's good, artwork was awesome.
Hey, thanks Anderson. Appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. Appreciate you guys hanging out tonight. Gonna get after this one, and I should have started with her head. My hand's gonna sit right in there. Have to fix that. Classic mistake. So again, if you guys have any questions about the art, feel free to fire it over. If you hear any loud thunder booms, that is Camp Pendleton. They are blowing stuff up tonight. I'm probably 10 miles away, maybe a little more, but still the frames are rattling. The sound of freedom, I'm told.
Anderson says he fell in love with your art on a day trip to Surprise, Arizona, to a Prescott gallery.
Oh, excellent. Thanks for hanging out at the gallery in Prescott and checking out the work. Appreciate it. If you're in the Arizona area, you can always check out our work in Prescott at the Ian Russell Gallery. We have a huge selection of stuff there. There's even a few originals, so you can kind of see the work in person. It's even worse in person. So I'm just kind of blocking in the hair, trying to get some of those, get some volume. Plus this thing up.
Hello from Dallas, formerly Los Angeles, met you at Disneyland and have 5-year prints. Maryland.
Maryland, thanks for hanging out and following up. Saw me at Disneyland. I do miss that. This would be that time of year. We just finished up my artist in residence, so it's a bummer to not be there, but hopefully the Wonderground Gallery will come back someday and we will pick up where we started. We had a couple things in the secret stuff in the works, so hopefully we can get back into that.
Sarah says, hey Dorcas, love you.
All right, family members popping on in, trying to be cool.
Rachel asks, are you painting this piece for someone or is it for sale?
So Rachel's asking if this piece is a commission or if it's available. This is available. This is not for commission. This is just out of my own brain and wanting to paint. So this piece is $7.50 shipped anywhere. And you can just reply in the comments if you're interested. We'll be doing a lot of these smalls in the coming months. As we get closer to, basically, as we get closer to Christmas, I'm probably going to try and get a bunch of these in the works to, I know people like to have a chance to get stuff for Christmas and such, and I do a lot of these smalls, so I'm going to try and have a few ready for people. Now that I'm off the road and not doing shows, I have a little more time to kind of do some of this smaller stuff, but I still have some commissions and things to get done, so we got to find a nice medium between there. But again, I do like live streaming. We'll be doing that every week. So we'll always have you usually working on one of these small ones.
Stephanie Johnson is talking to Sarah now. Boy.
All right.
We're just a communication tool.
Yeah. Already not the coolest person on the stream.
Speaking of uncool, let's see what we got. Oh.
Live streams. This is probably the fifth or sixth one we've done in the last month or two. And no issues yet. It's been some, some farting and some butt licking, but besides that, the dogs have been good. It's not about putting in every strand of hair. It's more of suggesting some of the volumes and some of the twists.
Selena says she loves the gallery in Prescott.
Thank you, Selena.
Marilyn says, missing the Wonderground, hoping it's just temporary.
Selena, yes. What are the Universal Gallery is a lot of fun. We miss being up there and doing shows there, but I'm glad you got to see it. Check it out. And yes, I do also hope the Wonderground is temporary, but I do not believe that it is. It seems all things seem to point to it going away for a substantial amount of time, and not just if they open back up after COVID clearance.
Brandy Gregson says she also met you at Disneyland and bought a catch or release.
It's all Disney today. Well, thank you, Brandy. Check them out at Disneyland. We're all lamenting our Disneyland Wonderground closure.
Sarah says that tank tops you sent her are great for year-round.
Excellent.
I'm not sure that's the truth. Give it 2 weeks in Omaha and I don't see any tank tops.
Yep. Those of you who don't know, I used to be, I was the artist in residence every September at Disney. So basically I'd be there live painting and sharing my work for the last 8 years, every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that's a chance to meet so many great people and paint there live, and just a ton of fun, a great experience. And Wonderground Gallery, where I did that, was recently closed. So that space is closed, and obviously my artist in residence there is no longer, but we hope to catch you guys out on the road. And if not, we hope to we'll still maybe doing some Disney pieces in the future once they start opening, planning again. They're kind of all in shutdown mode. So
Anderson asks, what determines the style of skeleton that you use? The more cartoon-like versus the more anatomical?
So Anderson's asking a great question. What determines the style that I use, the anatomical versus the more playful, like this one here? Usually it's the size is one big factor. If I'm going to do a large piece, they do tend to be the more serious ones. Also kind of the subject matter. If it's playful and lovey, and I enjoy using these kind of characters, the no teeth, non-anatomical. We kind of call them the cutesy is the word I kind of use for them. The anatomical I save for the more serious pieces, or the much larger pieces. So it's really a feeling from the. I have a concept for a piece. It's like, okay, here's the idea. You know, what does it fit? Well, I think that would be more of a, more of a serious one. Let's go with that. And that's kind of how it starts. But, subject is obviously most important, and then followed by the size too, which really helps factor in. Great question, though.
Ben is saying right now he's loving his social studies in school, but he's wondering if he'll get his dream job of being an archaeologist.
That's a great dream job, too. Ben's talking about being an archaeologist.
Not an artist?
Am I making you shy from art? I've gotten to travel so many great places, and I tell you, just seeing history, relics, all that kind of stuff. Archaeology is just an amazing. To be able to see that stuff as a profession is really a great idea.
Streaming hiccup.
Mm-hmm.
Where's on Facebook then?
Yeah, a little hiccup there. If you guys are on Facebook and it's getting a little clunky or something like that, I encourage you to go over to YouTube where it's running smooth. But if not, I think YouTube will sort itself out. I know with the debates just wrapping up, some of the traffic is a little lot.
Ben says even YouTube's a bit laggy.
All right. Yeah, the debates are taking up space. So we're just going to power through and do what we can. Appreciate you guys sticking it out. It's more fun to watch than debates anyways. Just a Farrah Fawcett hair going on. That wispy blowout.
I like the bangs.
Yeah.
It's the first pink hair I can think of.
I think it is the first big hair.
Sarah says it's about time you have some pink hair.
I know, we're trying to be equal opportunity for everybody. I want to include all people, all hair colors.
I like the star bra as well. That's coming from me.
All right, like the star bra. The Victoria's Underwater Secrets line. Classy.
Sarah says the star pasties are killing it.
Mm-hmm.
They really are.
Forgot our nose. She was almost noseless.
It's funny that a nose cavity can look cute. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a hole, but it's cute.
Again, without eyelashes and eyeballs, and to give, it's a challenge to give that kind of feminine, soft, cute, funny little feel. And that's where beauty marks. Once I get her sorted out, I can go back to his head.
People are liking my faux Little Mermaid music.
Legally licensed Little Mermaid music.
Marilyn is asking, any horses in the future?
Marilyn's asking any horses in the future. So not in the next few pieces, but I do have a fun Western piece. Probably be after the new year. I have a couple commissions to get done before that. But I have a fun Western piece. It's a rather, not super large, a rather large Western scene I want to do. Really kind of a party fun scene. They will be the more serious style skeletons, but a whole Western party that I haven't done yet. So I'm excited to work on that. I have a couple commissions, so probably Valentine's Day stuff coming. So probably February-ish, right in there. You might see that come around. But always in the planning.
Ben says,
Fashion is coming soon.
it's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a while. I think the last,
Death Do Us Part,
Death Do Us Part, the couple, yeah, that's probably the last one.
which was last January, December?
Last Christmas in last Arizona show. So yeah, so it is clearly time. Get out the 6-shooters. But it's kind of a horse. All right. Oops. Just put that right on the towel.
Elmer's asking, is there a way to re-watch live paintings, like a way to see a past painting?
Sid?
Yeah.
Sid's asking, is there a way to see past paintings? And yes, there is. So on my YouTube channel, you can see. So I've been always kind of recording live streams here and there. So they're all obviously all my paintings aren't there, but going forward, I'm recording almost everything. So they will be there. You can see a ton of those. Just type my name on YouTube, and you can see right there the channel. And there's a ton of them there, and adding more.
Try to do them all the time.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and do them all the time and capture more of them. We haven't for a while, so we're kind of getting back into it. But there are a bunch on there and some older ones too. But we're gonna get better.
Marilyn says she has to get up early tomorrow because she's Mountain Time. She has to take off, but she says she appreciates your work. And even has the book about Dia that we wrote the foreword for.
Oh, excellent! Well, thank you, Marilyn. Appreciate that. Yeah, we wrote the foreword for that book. That's great that you grabbed that. We'll get to bed, and thanks for hanging out.
Alina says amazing work as always.
Thank you, Alina, for checking out the stream, hanging out with us. I think my favorite part about this piece is the underlighting, which is kind of the yellow and the green. It's kind of like the light's coming from the bottom. I think it's just, with this light next to me, it just feels like it's glowing. It's fun to, just be able to experiment and play and still, even though I've done hundreds of paintings, I'm still excited to try stuff and see how things work and excited to paint. And I'm thrilled you guys are hanging out here watching me do it.
On the side view, pull it down a little.
Pull it down, a reflection?
Yeah.
Which one is doing that?
I won't ask again.
There you go. That's that.
Oh, you must have done something because it booted everybody out. Killed the stream.
Did it?
Yeah.
I didn't touch anything that has any kind of power like that. Possible. That's Thursday night streaming.
I go to the live puppy cam, but they look dead.
Yeah, the dogs are exhausted. We had a big full day. We're all outside today working in the yard, and they were outside the whole time barking their disapproval, and they did not take any naps. And the shipping department without naps is just a quiet shipping department right now.
Your phone is in your shot.
This is just... How about now? The producer is just really not happy with the shot we're getting. Is that better? Is it out of there?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not the shot. Let me try the side kill. Let's see what we got here. A little fuzzy.
All right. It's a live stream. We're not Coppola. No.
It's live.
Yeah,
So
it's every bit alive. Seahorse facts for the night. The males carry the babies in their bellies.
do they?
Mm-hmm. and watching seahorses give birth, they just shoot out like just piles of little seahorses. I believe in the hundreds. I think just about everything eats them.
Oh. Those are great facts.
Yeah, I didn't say there'd be a lot of them. I said
There was two.
there's 2 facts. I'm not David Attenborough. If you want facts, go watch
Something else.
Planet Earth. Yeah, go watch something else. Sorry. Oh, I gotta draw it and teach you about it? Yeah, people, come on. Do a little bit of your own research. From an artist's point of view, I think their structure is just so neat. I mean, it is like an exoskeleton kind of thing. Crustacean-y, it's all like all the things combined. I think it's really a fun challenge to draw.
Mark is saying he's still waiting on his snowboard to be delivered. He's excited, and he's going to order a print, and he wants to get an autograph when he gets out of the hospital.
Thanks, Mark. Hope you're doing okay. I'm excited for you to get your board and have that shipped. But yeah, and any print you get, just send me a note after you place an order and what you want signed. I'll get anything signed up, no problem at all. Fuzzy on the end of this brush who's just battling me. You know, let's add a little. This paint's being a bastard. So I'm going to add a drop of reducer to my paint to make it flow a little easier. It's getting a little bit thick, and I don't like that. I like to be fast and flowy, so I'm just going to add a drop of reducer, and that will make it go back to the consistency of kind of almond milk. Not water, but not maple syrup either. And when I reduce like that, I can quickly bang in some of these shapes here.
How often do you think you use reducer during your painting?
So I often add reducer when I mix a little thing of paint like this, a little 1 ounce cup. So I'll mix paint like this, probably mix maybe 3 or 4 is enough to pretty much do the whole painting with enamel. And I'll probably mix it each time I do a cup. And I'll probably add it one time to the cup as I'm painting. So probably this painting here, I'll probably add it 8 to 10 times.
Ben says he has to go, but next stream he's staying the whole time.
All right, Ben. Thanks for hanging out, man. Appreciate it. Got schoolwork to do.
Sid says you should do a virtual paint class where that you take like a basic print and everybody paints along like a Bob Ross.
Sid, is there drinking penalties in some way for that kind of thing?
says that he loves your hot rod paintings.
Hey, thanks, William. William loves the hot rod paintings. One of my favorite things also. It's been a while for that too. I paint so many different genres that sometimes some of them get forgotten for a bit. And honestly, with the hot rod stuff, those usually just force their way into my world by seeing something really cool. Again, like that Cadillac, I saw that drive by, or just was parked. I saw it parked as I was walking by the car show, and I was like, well, I gotta paint that. And a lot of times, the car stuff, that's usually how it forces its way in. If I see it somewhere. See, now this paint is just perfect.
Yes, it says, painting thing with tequila shots.
See?
Painting session.
Tequila shot painting session. Now he's winning us over.
And William says he's collecting the hot rod stuff for his man cave in his garage.
Well, thank you, William. I'll make sure I try and get some more so that you can never collect it all. But it's been a while, and I do have some whiskey still ideas and some old Fords. So we'll have to see if we can get to that stuff too.
Do you like to paint older stuff versus newer?
Oh, very much so. Yeah, the question is, do I like to paint older stuff versus newer? And without a doubt, you'll never see me painting a 94 Chevy Cavalier. There's just certain things I'm not going to touch.
Well, everybody that has that car is going to be
like, perfect example is the new Bronco. I mean, I would never paint a new. I just don't. They don't have any style. Nothing has any style in it. I much prefer painting an old Bronco. Older trucks, older vehicles. Older machinery in general. Old tanks, old farm equipment. Just really stuff that's just primitive. I love nuts and bolts and rivets and that kind of thing. And the new stuff just does nothing for me. I'll never paint a Hellcat or anything else like that. It's just not exciting.
Mike says your pirate art is his favorite.
Well, thank you, Mike. Mike enjoys the pirate art.
That's fun.
That's always fun. And they'll never be done with that. They'll always be pirate, tiki, drinking, rum will not stop. That will be the root of the work forever. There'll always be new pieces coming. My bedroom is that. It is that giant tikis. I used to carve tikis. You'll always have that stuff to collect for sure, because I love doing that. That most recent piece that I did, the gigantic Rum Runners Resort, that kind of thing, that is exactly what I love to paint. Just huge, all different kinds of little, mini stories going on. Just a large scale like that. I love something that takes me weeks to do. It's just amazing fun to kind of capture all those little stories, and that's probably my favorite kind of large scale stuff. It's funny, that's where a lot of these small mermaid stuff, that's in bigger paintings is kind of where they always end up popping up again. These are kind of studies for future ideas and future paintings, and fun little characters that always very often work their way back into the scene. I have a Gravedigger character I did that I just can't wait to use again in another painting, and I can have a whole scene in my head now worked out with him. So I painted him on a live stream a couple weeks ago for the Halloween release, and I think you'll see more of him in the future for sure. that's why a lot of these smalls don't have prints with them, is that I know that they're kind of fragments for a bigger piece coming later, that will feature them. So that way I like to kind of, this is their test run, learn things and then come back and paint them again and then learn again and kind of, when they're ready to, when they're mature, then you can kind of release them. Just messing around. That's the problem. Just fixing some stuff. Back up here where I shouldn't be.
I think it's important to get away from a part for a while, and then you go back and you see what needs to be fixed. Or does it just catch your eye unintentionally?
I jump around a lot when something catches my eye. I don't ever leave a piece because I'm frustrated or I've seen too much of it. I basically work a section because it's there and I want to finish it. So when if I see something which will often happen, I'll be looking around and something will catch my eye and then I'll just fix it right then. Because when I finish painting and I get to the bottom, I want to be done with it. I want to have fixed all the problems, and I always give it a look over when I'm done to make sure I didn't miss anything, like a nose or something like that. But I kind of catch things as I'm going that I want to change, and areas that look like they need a little more full, a little more volume. Something like this, I'll probably have to thicken up some spots just to give him a little more volume so he's not even all the way around. Probably like this, kind of going in and laying some thicker lines on that side just to give it a little more volume. See how that shapes that a little more? You just kind of just add a little bit more to those lines underneath, and he starts to get, you feel that ridge like it's a little more raised. So you kind of go in here, I'm just going to add a little bit, add a little bit, add a little more there, just a little bit. Because around the edges as he peeks around, that kind of stuff gets thickened there. You want to get the feeling that it's wrapped around a little bit, a little darker in the shadow. And while it looks like a ton of detail, a lot of it is kind of representing detail. Lines, volumes, to give some of that weight, to make it look heavy.
Do you think you do things intentionally, like 3 lines, 5 lines, 3 dots? Like, are you thinking about?
Great question, and no. When I do little dots and lines, I don't think about them. I don't think, oh, it needs 3 lines. Some of it's instinctual, and I don't even think about it because I've been doing it so long. Like some of the little shapes, and again, little, like right here. All right, here's a couple of boxes. All right, why not? That's
Why?
Yeah, but because it's kind of showing this rough texture. Like you don't think of it as a little box. You think maybe it's a peeled scale, kind of texture. If these little squares are painted on a barrel, it looks like the checking when you use a planer or something on wood. You get a checkered pattern sometimes when you hand aize the wood. You might get some of that same kind of feel. It's like like a thick, wide splinters almost. It just kind of gives the texture, and depending on what it's on, you can kind of get away with representing things and just breaking up. And those are definitely unique to me. I mean, I don't know if people look at wood and see little checkers, little squares. A lot of my if you look at my World War II plane art, great example. I may have a big section of aluminum on a plane wing, and rather than just leave it blank, I have these kind of checkerboardy, not even checkerboard, more like circuit board, shapes. Things that are unique to my art and kind of how I see it, and tools I like to use to fill texture. I think that's what makes my stuff unique to me, because that's just how my brain renders that stuff. You had 100 guys paint airplanes. Every guy's going to do it differently. The shape may be the same. You give them the same outline. The outline will be the same, but how they render things and how they shade things, that's usually unique to a different artist.
mechanical approach to the shading and cross-hatching?
The weird circuit boardy mechanical cross-hatching-y thing, whatever we call that, is really just kind of evolved over time, but it's always been there in primitive forms as it kind of, got more and more precise. But that style, from when I started painting with enamel, really kind of came out. Enamel just kind of let me capture that style and capture. If you're using acrylic for this kind of stuff, you would have, you have to go over the same line 20 times to get it to be full. With enamel, one stroke, and it's literally completely, opaque, which gives me my style and my look.
So if we went back to like childhood paintings, we would not see this.
No, you would not see this style. No, this style has just evolved. Just painting more and more has evolved over time. But if you look at my actively painting style, which I would say, I went to college and got an art degree, but didn't do any painting in college. I took all graphic design and drawing classes. But from when I started painting in 2005-ish, right in there, maybe 4, 5, 6, somewhere in there, you can see the style start in its primitive formats. The heavy use of line, that was all there. It's always how my brain saw things, but it really, kind of evolved.
You'll have to move it up for the side shot.
Let me slide up a little bit here.
And so it's intentional to keep her scales minimal because
Yeah, and that's one of those things where you got to kind of go soft. Add a couple, the kind of scaly looking couple dots here and there, and I'll do some white dots afterwards. But you don't want to do too many scales and do the whole scale thing to me, because then it's a big. Then she's a fish, and we know she's a fish woman. But I think if you do all the scales, it gets over rendered. And with me, I have to be conscious of that because I have, it's such a strong, I'm using basically, like an ink enamel where it's either on or it's off, and too many lines and things just get full and you lose some of the attractiveness of her.
Sid says, once the COVID is gone, got to get you a tour of one of their cargo ships because lots of good industrial looks.
Yeah.
In the engine room.
Love ships. When the world stops burning. Fun ship stuff. And we've gotten to go to Camp Pendleton for see the tanks at a live fire drill. I mean, that's just the kind of fun stuff. I mean, seeing that machinery up close, just dies to paint it. Just the things just ask for the mechanisms. So I can see here I'm kind of working my way back up, and I like the volume in the tail down here and the weight, and I want to kind of pulse that feeling up here a little more. I feel like there's no differentiation to some of the wraparound side. So I'm just going to add a little bit of, definitely going to screw up the camera and go back out of frame, but I'm just going to, just a second here, a couple of lines.
You're never really done. I mean, things can...
Oh no, never really done a painting. I can go back and forth. This is rare that I would go back this much, but this is kind of, it's rare that I have a pattern that goes top to bottom continuously. That's an organic pattern. So this is the kind of thing that I just want to make sure that, it feels like it has a little bit of a wraparound to it. And I feel like, some spots like under the head, they're not correct. They're not what they would be. So we're going to pull them. We're going to get them.
Is this in a Seahorse painting class you took?
Yes. Seahorse 101. Might have been a 200 level class.
Oh, Norway's in the house. Björk.
Björk shows up to win farthest away. Always does. Thanks for coming back, Björk. Appreciate it.
I can't see what you're doing at the top.
I know. Come back. I'm coming back. Let's do her. That's
Norway
good.
comes in at the end,
Yeah. Sitting it out.
different tail.
Yeah, mix it up a little bit. I want a more feathery feel to the tail. More wispy. I don't want you, like almost like a jellyfish kind of softness to it.
And is that because the Seahorse is so rigid?
Yes, because the Seahorse is so strong. Anything that can kind of offset that feeling of the, you know, the structure is good.
Oh, Jen Martin says the Birch Aquarium has a great Seahorse and Sea Dragon exhibit.
Oh, tips on the Birch Aquarium having a Seahorse and Sea Dragon exhibit. Well, that's going to get me out of the house. I'd like to see that.
Have we not been there?
I don't think we've been there.
No.
They have a giant octopus too, don't they? They had a big octopus there. I remember I was painting that piece that someone, one of the handlers or someone involved. That was a thing.
Right. But we went to Birch.
Mm-hmm.
It's down in San Diego?
Mm-hmm. I'm adding just some cross lines in places you can't see, obviously. But also down here, just to break up, you know, the dot patterns and some other patterns that are there. I'm going to add another drop of reducer just to get me to the finish line here. I think that's all I'll need.
Bjork's is cool piece as always.
Thanks, Björk. Mixing up a little bit, trying some new stuff. Thanks for hanging out in the stream. Some more weight like we talked about.
JP says it's superb.
Hey, thanks JP for hanging out also. Superb the crap out of this thing. That's too low? All right, come on. Structure basically goes away towards the end of the tail, so we're gonna
That's her bird.
Yep, some kind of weird bird. Outside the studio we have a feeders, and one of our dogs is the bird dog and is very excited right now. I need a little more volume. Oop. Oop. What's the shipping department doing over there?
They smell something.
And done. Now I'm gonna get the white and pop some highlights. First I'm gonna do my little look over, see if there's anything else I wanna pull out or pop out. I'm gonna slide this back to her. I do wanna fix one little part I don't like. I hate lines that stop and don't touch where they're supposed to touch. So that's one of the points I go through and make sure everything's carved out correctly. So I'm just touching some things here. Not too many dots because they look like they're a piece, so we'll do some cross lines in there. Who else is missing some textures? These guys could use a little more. Sometimes there's sound effects because textures are sound effecty. shadow either side of that star. All right, let me grab the well, I'll tell you right now that I've made a mistake. If you looked at my drawing and you look at this, you'll notice that I forgot all the bubbles. So what we're gonna do real quick, so I'm gonna toss some bubbles in here. And you're gonna get to see gouache. So I'm just gonna get some blue. So this is the gouache that all the other colors are. This is not enamel that I've been using so far. I'm just gonna pour a little water into a cup. This is water-based. This cleans up easy. Enamel, chemicals, smells. You know, it's a much more. I mean, it's a sign painter's paint. It's kind of like automotive paint. I always pretty close to describe. It's when you see flames on a motorcycle, or you know, filigree on cars and hot rods and stuff. That's what they use. So I'm gonna grab the tiniest brush, which is this guy here. And let's put in some bubbles. I'll go on there. In between these bubbles and the bubbles you see, you know, little droplets and stuff, is I will go in and enamel these. I'll give these bubbles a highlight. Just give some depth to the piece. Yeah, you guys can hear that through the stream, but they're blowing stuff up. So you want to see more of these streams, we'll be doing these every week, both on YouTube and Facebook. Please join me. We have no set time, really. It's always this time of night, but no set day. I'd imagine it's kind of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. We'll probably be, we're still trying to figure out what works best for our schedule and stuff, but that's probably the best right now. One of these Thursdays we'll do this without battling the debates.
The last one.
Yeah, that was the last one. Again, I want to go crazy with this because I definitely could. Bubble mania. Just some little fun parts of the piece. Adds a little extra. I like it. So I'm gonna whack it real quick with the heat gun just to dry it instantly. Apologize for the sound. Right in my mic. The enamel is still tacky. Not just because it's painted tacky. It's wet. Oh, I forgot a spot too. So, what we're going to do now is just grab the white, just smack a little highlight on those bubbles we just did. So, boop, boop. And the funny thing is, I also just saw a spot that I missed. Talking about missing spots, you notice in the tail there that I didn't finish the line. So I'm gonna go back in and finish that, and then we're gonna pop these bottles, and we'll be done. All right. So I'm gonna give those a second to dry. While they do, let's fix the other screw up down here. Clearly.
Different brush, different paint.
Yep, this is back to my enamel paint, different brush. mean, same brush, back to my enamel paint, because they do not mix. So I'm just going to throw that line in there and a little more texture to this thing here. You're over there? Alright. See a little poopy line. We're going to fix that line right there.
Your phone wasn't off, so I got a text message.
Ah. Why is it doing that? Why someone would message me who's in the house, who knows that we're live streaming, is strange. I mean, tell him you're streaming, and then he texts back, "Oh, really?" Jesus. Follow the page, woman. All right. Now we're just going to pop in some... Oh, what am I doing? Forgot all the little bubbles I just made. So I'm just going to quickly enamel those in. That's one of the few times you will see me do a broken line, meaning that I'm not just drawing a big circle around these bubbles. I'm just kind of giving a heavy line to the bottom, just a little scratchy to the top. Just to keep them really airy. Here, I'll give you a close one you can see. So a heavier line, and just a fat at the bottom, just a little top. Probably the same person in the house who doesn't know we're streaming is also streaming Netflix or something. Alright, last couple bubbles. So any more questions? I got about 5 minutes left probably. I'm just gonna finish these bubbles and then pop some white highlights on the her and the seahorse, and we'll be done for the night. Again, appreciate everybody coming by and hanging out. We'll be back again soon. I have again, a couple pieces, maybe even a big piece, a commission that we'll get to working on the stream coming up. So, all right, let's just let's. Oh, I must put my enamel in enamel, gouache and gouache. Let's get the white enamel. So this is not the gouache from before. And we are going to whack some highlights. But in the coming weeks, I think we may even do maybe a watercolor, or just do some sketching from scratch. We'll experiment with this stream, see what everybody likes. Obviously, you'll see plenty of this painting in general, but we'll mix it up and try some different things so it doesn't just get always the same stuff. This is some gummy paint, yeah. Ugh. But we're just popping highlights so that I don't need it to flow like I do my other stuff. So I can just, that will be plenty. So, oh, see that drop almost just hit the painting? And that wouldn't come off. That's enamel. So we don't want to do that. That was a near miss. All right, so get rid of that. Near disaster. All right, let's pop some highlights here. I lied. I'm gonna add one little tiny drop of reducer because it's like paste. So we're just gonna let it have it flow a little bit. It's good because if you add too much reducer, it'll flow like water, but also won't be completely opaque and it won't cover. We don't want that. So we're just gonna. pop some of those highlights on stuff. Just they're super subtle, but they do is they call out. I have to fix that a little bit. Trying to get a little bit down here. And then with her, if I throw a line in here, and a line up here. A little line back here. And a couple dots back here too. So we got some texture. I like to mess with her hair. I like that pink color. I want to throw in the opposite highlights in there, but I am gonna throw another line. I'm gonna carve these out a little more. But because she's iridescent, these are iridescent and kind of flowy, that you kind of can be liberal, more liberal than I would with anything else for tossing in some white highlights. But I'm gonna go crazy, so we're just gonna. Anything else I think I need it? Let's put a couple of those. All right, I think we are good. A couple dots in here. What else did I wanted to bring that line up, so we're gonna fix that right there. I think that solves. You can also use this white to just any spots I see that I don't like or too much black. So I'll go back in with my black and touch those up. Some of those touch-ups need touch-ups. All right, we're gonna wrap it up now. It's getting a little glitchy and we're almost done anyways. So any more questions you have, feel free to leave them in the comments. Again, thank you guys for hanging out with us. Really enjoyed it. Had a really fun time. Add your comments to the end and I'll get to them for sure. But thank you for hanging out with us and we'll hopefully see you guys again. Have a great night.